the two guys that fight in 9 days' time in Tyson and Usyk are trying to join that little list that you're on, Lennox.
Yes.
Do you believe the winner goes into that list with yourself?
Absolutely. He's definitely worked the way he's supposed to go into the list. You know, it's going to be a tough fight for both guys. It's going to be mentally tough. It's going to be physically tough. They're going to push each other on the mental basis far. They're going to push each other physically far. Both guys want to win this fight. Oleksandr Usyk hasn't lost a fight. And, you know, he wants to keep that going. He wants to be the heavyweight that hasn't lost a fight. So both guys want something from this, and it's going to be a mental challenge and a physical challenge.
Lennox, I spoke to Michael Mora this week in Hamburg, and his prediction is very bold. He says Oleksandr Usyk will stop Tyson Fury in the 10th round.
Wow.
What do you think of that prediction, and what's your prediction for the fight?
I think it's going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be a serious fight. You know, after the first fight, I actually went and watched my Evander Holyfield fight, and I was like, what's different about our fight compared to Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk? And let me tell you the difference. The difference is one guy was more serious than the other guy. You could say Tyson Fury lost that fight and Usyk won it. Now it's a situation where they're having another fight. Tyson Fury has to win that fight. So he's going to be more focused. He's going to put a little bit more weight on to get through this fight, and he's a lot more serious.
Lastly, Lennox, His Excellency has said that if Tyson Fury wins this fight, he wants to bring Klitschko back, Vladimir Klitschko, and do the rematch with Fury Klitschko. Your thoughts on a 48-year-old Klitschko potentially returning to the ring?
Well, you know, they've got bigger problems right now. There's a war in their country, and they're focused on that. I definitely know that. I don't think he's going to come back just to do this.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to talk to him at the dinner? Like, did you mention it to him? Like, hey, are you gonna come back? Like, you're looking like you're in shape.
He was actually pushing for me to come back. He was like, oh, I think he's talking about you, Lennox. And I'm like, no, I think he's talking about you. So it was back and forth that way.
Yeah.
Lennox, mentally going into this fight for Tyson Fury, he's never come back from a loss. That is his first loss. How do you think he will deal with that going into this fight?
Well, the fact that it is his first loss, and he's an up and down fighter. He knows how to come back, and he knows what he needs to do. And basically, he just has to get started from the beginning. He has to win 8 out of the 12 rounds to win the fight. And I think he knows what he needs to do. He needs that challenge. He's up for challenges, you know. When Deontay came over and challenged Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua didn't take the challenge, he flew over to America and challenged Deontay. So he's always up for a challenge like that.
After the first fight, there were criticisms of too many voices in the corner, but straight away Tyson Fury come out and said, I am keeping the same team. Do you think that's the correct decision from him?
Well, if he's happy with the same team, and, you know, obviously a lot of people would think there's a lot of noise in the corner, but he knows how to pick out, you know, the what he needs to hear. You know, obviously his dad is the biggest noise in the corner. He's been with him for life. It's his dad, so he's going to recognize his dad's voice and what his dad is saying. But Sugar is a great trainer as well, and, you know, is Manny's nephew, so he's bringing the Kronk style in there as well. So he can pick and choose and use what he needs from each person that's speaking in his corner.
Don't they say usually, Lennox, that the boxer usually wins the rematches, like, right? Is that like a correct assumption? So, like, with that being said, like, should people be favoring, like, Fury or Usyk? Like, who would you consider, like, the better natural boxer in this?
They both have great boxing. You know, Usyk is a mover. He's hard to hit, and he knows what to do. He goes in there, he'll punch, he's with you for a second, then he's out of range. So it's a tit for tat. You know, both guys are going to be using their brains, their ring intelligence, their ring IQ. Tyson Fury, he's got the size, 6'9". He moves well. He needs to get that jab going. I like Tyson with a little bit more weight. Maybe he'll come in with more weight this time. He's always a good fighter, even with weight on. And with weight, he can push the little guy back He can put his weight on the little guy as well. There's a lot of different things that Tyson Fury can do to unhinge Oleksandr Usyk and make it a harder fight for him to win.
I'm not sure if you saw like clips that have been going around like socially. Like there's like clips of like Fury like hugging Usyk and telling him like, hey, you know, like you beat so and so and so and so. Like it made some fans kind of like wonder like, oh, that's odd for someone who's about to rematch somebody to not have like that killer edge, like and show him like that type of like respect. Like I don't know, what do you make of that like mentally going in?
Oh, mentally it's trying to disarm him.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows that. You know, Oleksandr Usyk's a smart boxer, so he understands all of that. You know, he's coming in, he's saying he's a hitman this time.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's his mentality. He's coming out like a hitman. So it's going to be a lot of drama. And it's going to be a great fight.
Lennox, the shot really that was having a lot of success for Tyson in the first fight was the uppercut, also going to the body. How key do you think that will be for Tyson? Because he was landing on Usyk from like 3 to 7 those rounds with that uppercut at will.
Yeah, no, well, I noticed that. I noticed that he get in with a couple of uppercuts. That's why when they said, oh, well, if you fought Usyk, what would you do? I would say, well, you know, I would throw a good uppercut because he's susceptible to uppercuts, and I throw a mean uppercut. And that's how I would definitely fight the fight.
Do you think he's vulnerable to the body?
Well, anybody that's vulnerable to the body, and everybody's saying it, usually goes back and works on the body and says, like, I make them think I'm vulnerable to the body. That's what I want them to think. Now my body's tough, and if they go to the body, I'm going to hit them at the same time.
How much will did Tyson Fury show in round 9? The ropes were holding him up. He got the standing 8 count. For you as a former fighter, did that just further emphasise how much of a fighter Tyson Fury is?
Well, you know what? He got hit on the nose, and it made him go back on the ropes, and he bounced off the ropes one time, and then I think, you know, he was playing the other couple bouncing off the ropes because he was using the ropes to keep him up. And I thought the ref was great in that fight because some refs would have stopped it and said, oh, no, that's it. But that ref kept focused, didn't stop the fight, and allowed them to box.
How could you see Usyk winning? If he were to win, like how would you describe the way he would win this fight?
Well, if it ain't broken, don't fix it in that sense. You know, really do the same, but even step it up even further. Make sure that you're not there for the uppercuts. Keep the movement going, and you know, be the one that lands the most blows.
On the flip, how do you see Fury beating Usyk?
On the flip, I see Fury, you know, obviously establishing his jab, establishing his size, rough him up a bit. You know, use that big 6'9" body, and, you know, put on Usyk and make it harder for him. And, you know, throw more punches, get that jab going, don't be there for the hit, and, you know, apply yourself a bit more.
Lennox, you were the master of overturning rematches. Tyson's actually had success himself doing that, you know, the draw with Wilder. He then went and demolished him in the second fight. He's done it with Derek Chisora. What was it with yourself that was so good in your mentality about going into those 2 rematches where you just flipped the script?
Yeah, well, the way how I lost was like falling off a horse. So it really just takes me to jump on that horse and hold on a bit more, a bit longer. For me, I knew the mistake I made. And for me, all I needed to do is really go in there, work harder, and make sure that mistake doesn't happen again.
Do you think Tyson left the venue that night thinking, I know how to get you next time? And with yourself, was it the same where you left the fight night and you were like, I know exactly what I need to do in the rematch?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, he knew what he did wrong. And, you know, you could say that night he lost it and Usyk won it. This time, he knew how he lost it. Now he has to make sure that doesn't happen again.